episode of the season, the huge finale. There's so much stuff to talk about. We're celebrating. It's crazy. This was such a great episode. I can't wait to get into it. But before we do, I want to let you guys know that we are launching out a Patreon today. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're launching our own Patreon site. Patreon.com/comicbookgirl19. There is a link in the description below. So if you want to help us, a small fry independent people, keep going so we can continue to make awesome things like Game of Thrones Rewind, BS Movie News, and our awesome Comic Book Girl 19 show, you can support us that way. Check out the page. There's a lot of awesome perks going on. And thanks to everyone over the years who has contributed. You guys have helped us stay afloat for as long as we have because this shit's crazy, all right? So thanks again. Check it out. Patreon.com/comicbookgirl19. Let's get into it. Game of Thrones Rewind. Man, this is the big culminating episode. I was really happy with how they handled it overall. I think that this is one of their better episodes of the whole season. 9 and 10 like really helped clean up a lot of mess that was going on, and like there's so many changes in this world. I'm so excited to see so much movement going on in the storylines. So yeah, this is definitely like the best. This is where they put all their time and effort. Like I feel like this episode and last episode is where they spend all their money and put all their time and put all their effort, and it shows. Like because they were two really great episodes. Now, let's start off with King's Landing. All right, so we're going to start off in King's Landing with Cersei's revenge storyline. And man, this was such a great montage. Montages don't always work for me, but I really loved this montage where everyone getting dressed. The music was so on point, and it's amazing how they got me to root for Cersei. You know, like, that's a new one. It's like, oh, wow, I can't believe I'm like, woo, go Cersei. Like, yeah, fuck over those stupid sparrows. I thought that was pretty great. Man, can we just take a hot minute to talk about Cersei's fucking new outfit? Holy shit, Darth Cersei, she looks so fucking good. And I would wear that in a heartbeat. I wish I could wear shit like that. Oh my god, the chains and the fucking lion epaulets and the black leather. Oh, it was so sick. That was the sickest fucking dress they've made on that show, so fucking good job. But yeah, so let's go into the actual situation of what's going on. So we cut over to the Sept of Baelor, right? Which should be on a hill, but whatever. Sept of Baelor. Loras comes out first. He's pleading guilty. He's renouncing Highgarden. He's renouncing his titles. He's like no longer going to be the heir. Which I'm just like, seriously, like who the fuck? Like there's no heirs left for like any of these great houses. It's like super nuts. But they're like, it's cool. Let's carve a thing in your forehead and it's fine. I loved that you had Tommen, and he's like delaying going over there because he doesn't want to deal with all this. He doesn't want to see his mother condemned and all this stuff. But then when he finally is ready, the Franken Mountain's like, no go, little dude. Like, you stay right where you are, motherfucker. And, and Pycelle, like, getting his with the little birds, stabbing him to death, giving him little stabby stabs. One of the people in my group was saying that he thinks in the books, and I can't remember this or not, so maybe you guys might be able to help me out with this. There may be some implications that Pycelle is a pederast in the books. That's definitely not in the show, but that would make sense why like the little kids, like the little birds, would like stab him to death, But yeah, so Pycelle is over, and I really loved how they set up the whole thing where they have Lancel. Lancel's following that little bird around, and he goes under the fucking sept, and he finds that cache of wildfire. He gets the stabby stab, and, he's crawling, and they have the green, the little, oh man, the little timer. I was like, how are they going to time this? I was wondering that as the scene was going on. I was like, how is this little sparrow or little bird dude supposed to time this out? And the candles in the wildfire was just like, it was very excellent. So yeah, like fucking Cersei had her boom bitch bye, like get out, like fuck off. Her seeing, I loved watching her face, like drinking her little wine as she sees that fucking sept blow the fuck up, And not only did she just kill both of the heirs to Highgarden, the queen, she also got rid of, and the High Sparrow, and the sparrows in general. She also got rid of like tons, like the court like of King's Landing, like in the Red Keep. Like there's just like she just killed a lot of people's heirs and a lot of lords and ladies, you know, like that's a lot of shit that she did. Which makes sense because, you know, there's not anybody really left to fight her for power, you know. It's like she just really took that bitch. And everybody's been waiting for the Shame Nun to get hers, you know. Shame Nun got hers all right. You know, it's just like, dang, girl, you messed with the wrong crazy bitch, you know, because Cersei is fucking crazy, and you underestimated her in her willingness to go the furthest, you know. I was reading a long time ago about, like, if you ever get in a physical confrontation with somebody, the one who's willing to go the furthest wins, you know. Like, if you're willing to get really crazy with it, like, you're generally going to win, and this is, like, totally that, like, in motion in this whole scene. I really, really enjoyed, I mean, in a fucked up way saying that, I really enjoyed the way they handled Tommen and his suicide. You know, I thought that was just really well done. Him just stepping up and it's like, I can't, like, I'm out, you know, like, I just can't do this. My family's evil. I have no one around me. Like, this is just fucked. My wife is dead. And he really did believe in, like, the things that he was doing. Like, he thought he was being a good king, and, like, he was, like, gonna deal with these sparrows, and he was, like, finding religion and, like, finding, like, some sort of father figure, and it's just, like, Cersei's taken all of that away from him, so he's just like, I'm out. And I'm glad that, you know, even though Cersei gets her juicy revenge, you know, it's like, it's not without a price. You know, like, you don't do things like that and there's not a price to them, you know. And so Tommen taking his life was a really, really great way to exact that price from her. But I wish I had seen her be a little more sad about it, though. But at this point, I mean, she's so hollow. I mean, she's so, at this point, that I guess she's just like, whatever. But now that Tommen is gone, you know, there was that prophecy, Maggie the Frog gave her that prophecy where it's like you're going to see all 3 of your children dead before you die. So now she's up for death. And also, you know, part of the prophecy was that she was going to be strangled by her little brother. Well, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Tyrion? Is it going to be Jaime? I've got my money on Jaime, all right? Can we put up a poll of who do you guys think? Do you think Tyrion is going to choke Cersei out? Or do you think it's going to be Jaime? Because, I mean, yeah, it's you know. Well, no, it's going to be one of those. This isn't prophecy. It's got to be one of those. You let me know how you feel about it. Or maybe who would you rather see do it? I guess that's maybe better. Because I really think Jaime's going to do it. But would you rather see Tyrion kill her? Or would you rather see, you know, Jaime take care of the problem? But yeah, I mean, that was just a really well done scene. I really loved it. I love the way they timed it out. It was just perfectly well done. Good job, guys. Good job. So while you guys vote on who would you rather see kill Cersei, let's skip over to the Riverlands. We have Bronn and Jaime hanging out in the mead hall with the with the Freys. Walder over there is just being a weirdo as usual. There's that girl giving Jaime eyeballs, and Bronn's like, man, you don't have to do nothing, you know, and then he's like, don't worry about it, I got you, boo, you can get laid, like, here, take these girls, and he's like, all right, I guess, but I really did enjoy the scene where Jaime is talking to Lord Frey, and, you know, he's like, oh, well, I'm a badass, and da-da-da, and Jaime's like, are you a badass, and he's like, no, I'm a total badass. And then at the end, oh, yes. Okay, you guys, yeah, we all want to see Jaime choke Cersei out, you know, like, redeem him. It would kind of redeem himself. And then he's also the King Slayer, so then he could also be the Queen Slayer, you know? It's just like keep going with that tradition of killing kings when they need to be killed, you know? Which I don't know why people are up his ass about that. Like, honestly, everyone should be fucking thanking him, all right? Everyone should be fucking kissing his ass for killing Aerys and for future killing Cersei. But yeah, okay, so I love that Jaime, when he was talking to Lord Frey, and he was just like, well, you know, if we have to come back here and fucking take this castle back for you every time you have a fucking problem because you can't hold it, then what the fuck is the point of you guys? Like, I mean, he really put Walder in his place, which I thought was fantastic, because it was like, yeah, like, yeah, like you guys are celebrating like you did something when it was obviously the Lannisters and Jaime in particular who like orchestrated fixing this entire fuck up on your part when you let the Blackfish take back over. So yeah, all right. So then we skip over to Sam. They're finally at Old Town. They finally made it to Old Town. It's taken them a whole season to get down to this motherfucking place. You know, it's like taking them a whole season, which, you know, that's good because it should take them a whole season because they're going from, you know, the fucking wall all the way down, like the wall up there, like all the way down to like Old Town's like right over here. All right, that's like Old Town down there. So like that's a big fucking jump. But yeah, so, you know, and once we get there, I was not surprised to see this, but you see all the white birds that are leaving, you know, the tower, and those are the white ravens signaling to everybody that winter is here, motherfuckers. Sam goes in, he's talking to that dickish clerk, you know, who's kind of a dick for not any really apparent reason. But I loved his answer where he's like, this is irregular, you know, the clerk's like, this is irregular, like, we don't know that Mormont is not the commander anymore, we didn't know that your maester's already died, and he's like, well, life is irregular, which I thought was a really, really great point. Good job, Sam. But then, you know, Sam's gonna go meet with some dude over there to, like, get it all sorted out, but in the meantime, he gets to hang out in the library. And I love that, you know, the guy's like, but women and children are not allowed in the library. Like, your baby is not allowed in our fucking library filled with fucking ancient scrolls. Like, fuck you. And Sam, like, kind of looks at her like, I'll be right back, dude. I just got to see this library. Like, the look in his eye of just like, I love you. I got to go see this library. Like, you just hang out here for a minute because, like, I got to see this library. And, man, that library was, like, really awesome. I was like, he was just so, like, can you imagine living back then where you don't have fucking access to books, okay? There is not like, oh, you just get a book. Like, you're fucked. Like, to have a book is like a big fucking deal, okay? Like, because they're fucking handwritten on scrolls and shit. They don't have the fucking press and shit like that yet. They don't have the printing press and all that kind of crap, okay? So this is like really intense stuff. And for someone like Sam, who loves books and loves reading, and he like sees this vast library of knowledge just like filled to the brim. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't like cry a little bit, you know, like, I mean, I would like to see maybe a little tear, because like that's intense, like seeing like that much and being so sheltered away and not like having access to anything. That's like finding the internet or something, and you know, you're just like, oh, you know, you heard about it. You've heard about the internet. You want to be on the internet, but you can't be. Now he's fucking on the internet. And hopefully there'll be some awesome stuff in that awesome library that he can use to help against the war with the White Walkers. He can find some real research to help the Night's Watch out and help keep that wall up. Although we all know the wall is going to fall down. I mean, it's gonna fall down. And also, if you did notice in the library, which was a little bit too big, it's like, come on, CGI guys, can you just? It doesn't need to be like. You can make it smaller, whatever. But they did have this awesome, the thing from the beginning of Game of Thrones. It's not a gyroscope, but whatever the fucking the little Solaris thing is, it's in the Citadel. It's not a candelabra. No, that's not it either. It is, I don't know what the fuck it's called. No one could figure it out last night. But that thing, the round thing with the deals and all the houses on it, that was totally in the Citadel, which was really cool to see a call back to that. And I am interested to see, like, in the books, there's like this glass candle situation going on at the Citadel, and, you know, it's very mysterious, and it like signals something, but we're like trying to figure it out, and like, I wonder if that's going to come into play next season. I don't know. It could go either way. I kind of doubt it, though. I'm leaning towards not seeing it. But yeah, so let's move on to Winterfell. We start with Jon and Sansa, you know, and they're on the wall, or on the parapet or whatever. And, you know, Sansa finally says, "My bad. Sorry I didn't tell you about the Knights of the Vale." And then Jon's like, "Whatever, girl, it's fine." And I was a little disappointed in that. I was like, fuck you, it's fine. Like, fuck you, Sansa. Like, again, I'm not a huge Sansa fan, obviously. I don't think anyone is a huge Sansa fan. And I feel like she should be punished for that. Like, I feel like she should be punished for that. But maybe her punishment is in the mail. I really do feel like her punishment might be in the mail. Okay, so then we see her in the Godswood, and you have Littlefinger, approaching her, and she's like, "What do you want?" And after all of this, she doesn't get it. After all of this that's happened, she doesn't understand that like he wants to fuck her and like wants to marry her. Like she doesn't. She's so dumb. Like Sansa's so fucking dumb. She hasn't learned anything this whole time. And he's like, "Oh, I want to be on the Iron Throne, and I want you at my side." And then she spurns him, and it's like, Sansa, like, first of all, like you're continuously spurning the man who is one of the most dangerous men in Westeros, who's essentially telling you, you can manipulate me. I want you so bad that you can manipulate me. Like, she could totally use this to her own ends. Like, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if she doesn't have feelings for him, by manipulating him through that and, like, being like, okay, I'm gonna, like, give this guy what he wants and then, like, get in with him and then be able to see what he's up to, be able to control him more, be in on his plans. That would have made me forgive Sansa to some degree and make me like her and been like, okay, she's learning this Game of Thrones business. But no, she's fucking over the man who, can really fuck her shit up. So maybe her punishment, like Littlefinger will bring her punishment later on. Like, I don't know, but she needs to be punished. I don't know. We'll see. But then we have the Onion Knight, and he's all like, hey, I found this fucking thing. I saw that you burned Shireen, you bitch. Jon Snow, you let me kill this red bitch right now. And then Jon's like, is this true? And she's like, well, yeah, but, it's fucking prophecies, whatever. I made some mistakes, but, we're all still here, so fuck you. And, of course he takes the middle path. That's why Jon's a good leader, generally speaking, is he does take the middle path where he's like, all right, you're out, but, don't come back. We're not going to kill you, but just stay the fuck out, And so that was fine. I'm interested to see where Melisandre goes, like where she ends up. Maybe she'll end up with the Brotherhood Without Banners. She'll at least have to pass through there on her way wherever the fuck she's going. Maybe she'll end up in Dorne, because that's another thing. Like, all these chicks are teaming up. So maybe she'll go team up with all the other chicks, and like make a full-on chick team. That sounds like that would probably happen. All right, so we move over to we have Lady Olenna. She is in Dorne. Man, the Queen of Thorns is like so great. I love her. I love her sassiness. I love her telling all the sand snakes to like shut the fuck up. She tells Obara that she looks like an angry little boy. She tells the other one like, shut up, don't talk. And then the other one's just like, do you have anything to say? No. Okay, fuck off. Like, let the real women talk here. Let the grown women talk here, you fucking dumb cunts. I thought that was so great. I love her so much. And of course Varys shows up. Like, that was very obvious. Like, I was like, oh, there he is. That's what he's doing. He's setting it up in Dorne for them. So now the Tyrells and the Dornish are going to join with Daenerys and and Yara. So we got a bunch of fucking people coming together here. So then we skip over to Meereen. And, Dany's like, sorry, Dario, like, you're cute and all, but, I gotta go conquer, it was fun, but I gotta go conquer, like, a whole 7 kingdoms, and, like, you're just gonna embarrass me and cause problems, so you gotta stay where the fuck you are. And he was all bummed out, obviously. He's right, how do you follow that up? Like, you get to fuck this hot dragon queen, like, well, now what? Every other girl's just gonna be kind of boring, so, whatever. He's kind of ruined for life, but, she doesn't give a fuck. And he shouldn't. He's playing with fire. What do you expect? Although I did, and I'm not sure of this, maybe you guys would know this out there, so he leads the Second Sons. Isn't the Second Sons comprised of Westerosi, like, exiles and stuff like that? And wouldn't they be super bummed if, like, everyone's going to Westeros and their whole deal is, like, they kind of want to get back to Westeros because they've been exiled? Like, wouldn't they be a little bummed that she's like, no, stay in Meereen? Like, I'm not, but that was never set up in the show, so this is just, like, a minor situation. But yeah, like, so yeah, she's like, you guys stay there, let them keep the peace, and let them choose their own leaders, whatever. Although I still feel like her leaving is gonna, like, create slavery's just gonna come back, but whatever. you know, she's idealistic. She thinks they'll figure it out, and you know, maybe it's time they should figure it out. They do need to figure out their own problems over there. So you know, I'm whatever. Fuck Marine. Like Dario says, fuck Marine. I've said that from the first time I started reading about it in the books. That place sucks. I'm so glad she's out of that place finally. And then she goes down the stairs and she talks to Tyrion, you know, and Tyrion is like, oh, how'd he take it? You know, she's like, well, he didn't cry about it, but, you know, I'm kind of bummed because my hot dude, I don't have my hot dude anymore. And he gives her this really moving speech about how he doesn't really believe in anything, and how he hasn't his whole life, and how he believes in her, you know. And when he's talking to her, he's like, you know, many men, like, he's not going to be the last man to fall in love with you, and da-da-da-da. And she gets up and, like, she's like, well, you're not consoling me, and it stays on his face for a little bit. So I feel like Tyrion is also falling in love with Daenerys, but I do feel like Tyrion is smart enough to not even bother or try, you know. He's just like, I know my place. I know that you're super hot, and I'm a dwarf, and, like, but you're hot, but I'm just going to keep it to myself, which is what he should do, you know, because it's like, don't make it weird. Just, like, if you have feelings for her, just don't make it weird, Tyrion. Just keep it to yourself. It'll be fine. And now he's officially Hand of the Queen. He's back. He's got his little pin back. You know, he's a little man. So I'm excited to see him, like, officially Hand of the Queen. You know, her ragtag team has really come together. And, okay, so next we're back in the Riverlands. We have, you know, Arya Stark on Mission Impossible Arya with her fucking masks, and feeds Walder or his sons, and then doesn't even let him take I wanted to see him take a bite of that fucking pie before let him eat the people, and that was kind of whatever. I mean, I'm sick. I like seeing weird, like, fake cannibal stuff, so it's just, I don't know. I was a little disappointed that he didn't actually eat the pie. But she slits his throat, and it's like, really, you know, it's like, I'm really, okay, like, Arya's storyline's the worst. Come on, we gotta be real about it. Arya's storyline is really fucked up. It's, like, really goofy. I don't know about this whole mask thing. She just apprenticed over there for, like, a year or two, maybe. Like, I don't think that she would learn how to do all their magic and stuff. Like, she shouldn't be a fully blooded faceless man at this point. Like, she just trained a little bit with them. She wasn't, like, a fully whatever. And, like, I also felt like when we first see Jack and Hagar and he changes his face, you know, and he turns back to her, it was really mysterious, you know. It was, like, really mysterious. Like, how do they change their faces, you know? But then now they've made it to where it's just, like, a mask on a wall, I guess, and it's a magic mask, and then you put it on, and it makes your whole body different, and you just take it off like a mask. And what did she do? Just steal some of them and put them in her bag before she left? Like, I don't know how this faceless man shit works. I'm pretty sure in the books, if I'm remembering correctly, that it's like you have to train your face and your muscles and stuff like that, and, like, it's this whole other, like, it's like you form your face and, like, you change and stuff like that, and it's like, and you have to train yourself, and it's really crazy. And you know, this is just kind of cheap movie magic. And also, how did she get over there so fast? You know, I mean, I was like, this episode in particular did have a lot of people teleporting, you know, where you're just like, Sam's taking a whole season to get down the wall, but then Arya's just like, boom, she's at the twins. Like how is time moving in this show? Like, it's really weird how time is moving. And also with Arya, I mean, she's going to be killing all the people on her list, right? Well, like, guess who else is on her list? Like, the Hound is on her list. Do I want to see her kill the Hound? No. Jaime Lannister's on her list. Do I want to see her kill Jaime Lannister? No. So is Arya going to become, like, a heel or a villain? Like, I doubt they're going to do that. So it's like, her character's in a really weird place for me right now. Like, I'm really interested to see where she goes next season, because it's like, I don't know. We'll see. Her whole thing, you know, this whole season I've been complaining about it, so, you know, nothing new here. Still complaining about Arya. I love her in the books, though. Fuck. Holy fuck, I love Arya in the books. She's the best. So, all right. And then, oh man, I have so many notes on here. It's like, I gotta figure out where my notes are. So then we go to Cold Hands, and you know, Cold Hands has been hanging out with Bran and Mira, and he drops them off at the wall, and, you know, Bran does the heart tree thing where he touches the tree, and then he goes back to the Tower of Joy. The poorest kept fan secret is finally over with. You know, R plus L is J. Oh my fucking god. He's fucking half Targaryen. He's fucking Rhaegar and Lyanna's son. Jon Snow. It's official. It's crazy. You know, if you remember, you know, Lyanna was supposedly abducted by Rhaegar, which started the whole Robert's Rebellion situation because Robert was married to her. But I think that she left with him willingly because she was in love with Rhaegar. They had a baby. Ned gets there just in time. She's dying from childbirth. She had a really hard childbirth, just bled all over the fucking place. And then she tells Ned, you know, promise me, Ned, like, you can't tell Robert that this is, you know, Rhaegar and I's baby, because then he'll kill him because he kills all the Targaryens, you know. So, yeah, so it's official. Jon Snow is now half Targaryen, half Stark. Is he the Song of Ice and Fire? We'll find out in the next couple of fucking deals. But yeah, so that's been confirmed. And then I did have a question, though. It's like, you know, Cold Hands just, like, walks off, and it's like, all right, see you guys. And he just leaves Mira with, like, a crippled boy. Like, how are these? Is she just gonna drag his ass, like, over the wall? Or, like, how the fuck are they gonna, like, I'm really confused. Like, he needs a sled or something. I was still like, wait, what? They just left him there in the snow? Like, okay, all right, weird, whatever. Moving on, we go back to Winterfell, and, you know, they're having the big, kind of like a King's Moot, I guess, in a sense, for the Northerners. All the lords come in. They're like, oh, well, they're there to swear fealty because, you know, when you have a new guy in charge, everybody's got to come in and say, all right, I'm your dude now, and you got to kneel and whatever. And so, you know, everyone's still kind of being a bitch about it in general. You know, they're like, oh, you're a bastard, whatever. And then it's not until my little Bolton girl, I love her. I mean, I think she's a character in the books, but she hasn't done anything in the books. I'm not entirely sure, but fuck, she's awesome. I love this little girl. She's my favorite new character on the whole show. I want a shirt with her little fucking badass face on it. I love her so much. She's like, she shames everyone, you know, and she's like, you guys are a bunch of fucking pussies. You know, I didn't fucking, North remembers, and I didn't fucking forget, you fucking old fucks. And then they're all, like, shamed by her, and then, like, it's awesome. So then they're all like, all right, well, Jon's the king of the North. Jon's the king of the North. Which also is frustrating Littlefinger's plans, because Littlefinger wants them to follow Sansa, you know. But who the fuck would follow Sansa? She is a fucking girl who's been married to a Lannister and a Bolton. She's not really a Stark. She's gone through 2 marriages already. And, like, she's never commanded anything. And she fucked up with not telling anyone about the Vale. So who the fuck would follow her? Like, of course they're going to follow Jon. Like, Jon was, like, the Lord Commander of the fucking deal of the Night's Watch for a hot minute. He knows how to, like, administrate, you know, because that's what it is. Like, being the king of the North, it's not about being a badass or winning wars. It's, like, really about administration and, like, management, you know. And you want somebody who goes the middle way, who's fucking whatever, you know. Like, Jon's totally that dude. But yeah, so, you know, we'll see how that goes. He's the new king of the North. So, and seeing as how, like, all of the eligible bachelors in Westeros are dead, and he's, like, the only one, I wonder if him and Daenerys might hook up next season. I wonder. Oh, goodness, you know. He's, like, the only, like, dude that there's, like, left in that whole fucking kingdom, you know. Which is something that is a little weird, because in the books, like, it isn't just, like, one family with, like, one nuclear family that runs a keep. There's, like, uncles and cousins and second cousins and, like, minor branches of houses. And it seems in this show you never, I mean, I know you can't have, like, all these people showing up because it's a lot of extras and stuff like that. But it's like, who's running Storm's End? Who's running Dragonstone? Who's running Casterly Rock? Like, because if all the characters are dead from these, like, great houses, then, like, what's going on? Like, who's running the fucking show, you know? I don't know. We should just switch Sansa with Lady Mormont, like, totally. You know, Jon should marry Lady Mormont, is what, I mean, let her grow up a little bit, but, like, that's a bitch you should marry right there, Jon Snow. Like, she's awesome. So then, we cut back, we have Cersei, she's finally being queened by Qyburn, and Jaime shows up just in time to see her, and, like, the look on Jaime's face is definitely like, you know, and she's kind of like, And, you know, somebody was saying, well, do you think that he's going to be the king? You know, and it's like, Jaime wants nothing to do with being a king. Like, he could have taken the Iron Throne a long time ago after he killed Aerys the Mad King. But he didn't. He doesn't want to do that shit. He doesn't want to do that shit. He just wants to, like, figure his life out and become a better person, you know? And being a king, like, that really is not, that's not for Jaime. So Jaime's not going to try to king it out. It's going to be all about the Cersei and him just being, like, watching her being a crazy person.
I have a question. Do you think their love is dead now?
Do I think that their love is dead? Well, I think it's going to die pretty soon. I think that, like, he's really legitimately trying to, like, be a better person, and then he sees her doing all this fucked up shit, and he just can't be a party to it anymore, you know? Like, he just can't deal with it. Like, she's just crazy asshole. And here's the thing, like, okay, sure, that was a really smart move on Cersei's part, you know, blowing up the whole deal, but at the same time, that doesn't make her smarter. She's not a smart person now. She's not like some badass ruler now. She's just a crazy person who's like willing to go the furthest and blow up some shit, you know, and she had an opportunity and took it. So, I mean, she's not going to be a great ruler. Like, she's the worst. So we'll see. I mean, she's definitely set up to be the big bad, you know, now, because we had Joffrey. He was the original big bad. And then we had Ramsay Bolton, who was a really shitty bad. He was a really shitty big bad. I didn't like him at all. I'm glad he's over with. And then so now it's Cersei. And then I guess we'll dispatch Cersei, and then it'll be Night's King. You know, so that's kind of like where we're going with our villains. And so the very last shot, we see Daenerys, and she's finally crossing that motherfucking sea. It has taken her how many seasons to get her ass across the sea? She's finally going over there. I was a little perturbed and a little shocked. Like, it's such a cool fucking shot, and you're like, yes, she's gonna go over there, and I was like really excited. And then like when they show her at the end on her ship, and then Varys is behind her, I was like really confused. You know, I was like, what the fuck? Did he teleport there? Like, god damn it! And why would he go to Dorne and then come back to Meereen and then go there? Like, let me show you. Let me cut to the map. Can we cut to the map real quick? All right. And so this is kind of what I think is going on. And here's another thing in that scene in particular that they didn't do that I wish they had done is they really didn't show. I feel like there's a scene missing. Like we missed some sort of scene of Varys returning or something, because you kind of see that there's Greyjoy sails, and then there's like Targaryen sails. But there's also Dornish sails, like Sunspear fucking sails. And then there's also Highgarden stuff, too, you know. So it's like, but you didn't really notice it, you know. It wasn't, like, very apparent. But anyways, let me go to the map. Okay. All right, so, you know, it's kind of further away, but we're over here. Daenerys is coming from here, right? They probably met up with Sunspear and Dorne here, and then they're gonna go up and around, and here's King's Landing. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but okay, so they went from Essos, they met over at Sunspear and that weird little, you know, where the stepstones are. I think that's where they hooked up with Sunspear. I don't know where Highgarden's ships came from, because Highgarden is like all the way fucking around there, so I don't know how they got there so fast, but they did. And so yeah, so they're all gonna kind of travel up the narrow sea and around that little deal, and what is it called? The Blackwater Bay, and get into King's Landing. So, you know, I think that's what's gonna go on. And I don't know, I mean, Cersei really doesn't have, she doesn't have any allies on her side, really. I mean, I don't know how she's gonna defend herself against like this whole giant fleet, unless maybe Euron helps her out or something, and Euron makes, because we haven't seen Euron. I mean, the guy who was crowned like king of Pike or whatever, he's off building a bunch of ships, but I mean, he's like building them. That takes a long time. But then again, I don't know, time is really weird in this show, so I'm sure he'll have like 500 ships next season, and I don't know, it'll be weird. But yeah, so next season, we're setting up for the biggest cat fight of all. You know, we've got Lady Olenna, and that Dornish chick, area, I can't remember her name, Daenerys, Yara, we got Varys and Theon, 2 eunuchs, Tyrion, a dwarf, and they're all going to be fighting Cersei, and I assume that they're going to get Jon Snow in on the mix on their side as well, and I guess Sansa, I don't know. But yeah, the Queen Bowl, it'll be the Queen Bowl, Cersei versus Daenerys. We all know who's going to win that one, you know. I wonder if Cersei's gonna pull a Mad King and try to blow up the whole city. You know, just to like, since it worked so well with the Sept of Baelor, I feel like maybe that's what she would do. Is she hearing them come in, she would retreat like herself and go somewhere else, have them all storm King's Landing, and then blow up King's Landing. I feel like and then that would also make sense because Aerys, like, you know, Daenerys' dad kind of set this whole thing up, so it would have a nice little, be a nice little circle. So yeah, that's what I see happening next season. You know, that's what I see happening. So yeah, okay. So that was Game of Thrones. This is the season 6. Is it season 6? I can't keep up. I don't know. There's so many seasons of this shit. I know. I'm the expert. So that's it for season 6. We're gonna take some callers. So in the meantime, I'm gonna talk out of my ass while we find some of you lovely callers out there. T-Bone, you have a question.
How did you feel about the season overall compared with season 5?
How did I feel about this season overall compared to season 5? Well, season 5 ended on a super bummer, so I mean, I'm glad that this season didn't end on a super bummer. Like, it has an uplifting thing, so I'm glad that, like, we're over the hump of, like, shitty stuff. But I do feel like, you know, obviously this season there's been a lot of, like, fan service writing. You know, it's like 50-50. There's good moments, there's really great moments, and then there's really, like, not great moments too. It's like, it's really frustrating for me because it's like there's such a potential here and they're doing something so right, and then other things you're like, oh god, you know, it's just like it's very confusing for me. Okay, it's very confusing for me as a fan.
What were some of the moments you really liked?
Okay, some of my favorite moments from the season. Gosh, what even happened? I'm like so out of it.
What about the Hound's return?
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing the Hound return. I enjoyed seeing him. I love Yara and Dany, like, hooking up. I think that's, like, super awesome because Yara's, like, the shit, and I just love Yara. More her, like, all the way.
Burn the tent down?
Daenerys burning the tent down was sick. That was cool. I liked that. I know there's, like, a bunch of stuff that I'm missing. I'm just, like, I don't have my brain loaded up with everything. What is your favorite moments? Like, what were your favorite moments from this season? I mean, I'm glad that Ramsay's dead, but I hate how they killed him, you know, so.
What do you think of Ramsay overall?
I hate I'm so glad he's gone. He was the worst villain. He was just such a one-dimensional cartoon character. He wasn't a real person, you know, so I didn't really believe him. He was kind of silly. He was a little silly.